On February 15, 2023, in San Francisco, California, a multinational technology firm known for its innovative software solutions experienced a significant anomaly in its user account management system. This incident initiated an extensive internal investigation that would lay bare vulnerabilities within its digital infrastructure. The primary actor in this unfolding scenario was the technology firm, which had garnered a substantial global presence and was responsible for managing sensitive customer information across various platforms. As a part of its digital ecosystem, the firm employed a complex user access system designed to grant permissions based on job roles. However, this system was widely regarded as having outdated protocols, leaving it susceptible to potential abuse. The initial technical failure arose when an employee, a mid-level software engineer, received an uncommonly high level of access to restricted databases containing sensitive customer data, including financial records and personally identifiable information. Upon examination, it became evident that the access was a result of misconfiguration. The engineer's upgraded permissions had been inadvertently granted due to an erroneous entry during a system update. This error went unnoticed for weeks because internal logging mechanisms failed to flag the privilege escalation as an anomaly. Furthermore, the organization's reliance on antiquated access control policies did not adequately address the existing processes for periodic audits or revalidation of user privileges, creating a dangerous loophole. As the internal security team began to probe deeper into the system, they noted that the unauthorized access coincided with an alarming increase in unauthorized downloads of proprietary data. Investigators found that the compromised account had facilitated approximately 15,000 downloads of customer records during the preceding month. Based on conservative estimates, this revealed potential exposure of over 75,000 individual customer entries. The financial implications were considerable. Early projections indicated a risk of significant regulatory penalties and a possible loss of customer trust that could amount to millions of dollars. Internal reactions to the discovery were mixed. Initial emails circulated amongst team members expressed confusion regarding the reported deviations in user access. Security analysts convened on an incident channel to discuss potential causes, and some early discussions reflected an understanding that the issue could be an isolated misconfiguration. However, the use of vague incident reporting led to differing opinions on whether a serious breach had occurred or simply an internal mishap needing corrective action. Some team members proposed partial fixes, including immediate revocation of the access in question, but uncertainty remained regarding the potential for damage already done. Externally, initial user reports began to trickle in. Customers noticed irregularities such as unexpected notifications about changes in their account settings or unusual requests for verification. Monitoring alerts triggered earlier in the week indicated an unusual spike in data requests from non-authorized locations. Although the early media response was minimal, minor mentions on technology blogs speculated about potential security issues related to the technology firm's reputation in safeguarding user data. As internal and external signals compounded, the internal investigation began to gather momentum. Security teams initiated a more thorough review of user access logs, striving to uncover any additional anomalies that might indicate a more systematic issue. Colleagues from various departments were questioned, and responses indicated a general lack of awareness regarding the access privileges and capabilities of several employees within the organization. Some stakeholders expressed concern over a failure in organizational processes that allowed such a lapse in security measures. The clock was ticking, and the firm faced mounting pressure to assess the ramifications of what had originally looked like a single employee's mishap. With every passing hour, both internal investigators and external stakeholders heightened their scrutiny over the firm's data security protocols, demanding a comprehensive understanding of how such an incident could remain undetected for so long. In parallel with these investigations, external cybersecurity firms began offering their assistance, proposing a forensic analysis of the data access patterns. Some members of the technology firm questioned whether this involvement might indicate a lack of faith in the internal security team's capabilities to manage the breach effectively on their own. With the internal team feeling the weight of accountability, the scrutiny of third-party experts added another layer of tension to the existing atmosphere of uncertainty. Just as the internal team prepared to escalate their findings to the executive board, new indicators surfaced that hinted at a more widespread issue. An external monitoring tool reported irregular traffic patterns that seemed to align with the compromised account activity as external servers attempted to connect to the firm's databases at unusual hours. hours. This evidence pointed to potential external manipulation and raised the unsettling possibility that others outside the organization might be complicating the matter and exploiting the internal weaknesses. Faced with overlapping inquiries, the situation took a decisive turn. Internal discussions began shifting from identifying an isolated incident to considering the broader implications of a possible insider threat, an unsettling realization that echoed within the hallways of the technology firm. The team was left grappling with the harsh reality that the issue was likely deep-seated, with implications that extended far beyond the initial access misconfiguration and into the trust that clients placed in their data protection efforts. The air was thick with tension as the potential for a larger conspiracy emerged. Investigators prepared to dive deeper into the digital footprint left by the compromised account, delving into connection logs, data access timelines, and appealing the cooperation of team members for a clear understanding of fallible processes that allowed this incident to occur. As these inquiries intensified, a troubling realization loomed. What if the misconfiguration was merely the tip of the iceberg, an indicator of a much larger clandestine operation taking place within their ranks? With new potential threats emerging and the investigation in full swing, the technology firm found itself at a critical crossroads, faced with the daunting task of not only comprehending the failure that had occurred, but also preventing a potential catastrophe from unfolding before their very eyes. The truth was, they were still piecing together the elements of a puzzle that hinted at a profound breach of trust, a web of complicity that had yet to be fully uncovered. As the situation escalated, time was of the essence. Each revelation led to more questions than answers, a relentless cycle that threatened to unravel the very fabric of the organization. As investigations progressed, concerns within the organization were amplified by the mounting evidence of systemic flaws. With insights from external cybersecurity experts, it became clear that inefficient access control measures and insufficient monitoring allowed multiple insiders to exploit the system over an extended period. Internal discussions began to echo warnings raised previously yet unaddressed about the firm's reliance on lax protocols. By the end of the month, the investigation reported that sensitive data belonging to over 40,000 clients had been downloaded and sold, leading to estimated financial losses in the millions due to potential lawsuits and client attrition. Datasets included personally identifiable information, financial records, and proprietary software, raising alarms across the industry regarding compliance with data protection regulations such as GDPR and CCPA. Responding to the crisis, the technology firm instituted an immediate moratorium on all internal access rights, temporarily suspending over 600 employee accounts until they could be audited for compliance. Legal notices were sent to involved personnel, prompting some to resign or go on leave. Forensic audits revealed the possibility that at least 3 employees collaborated, discussing their exploits on private messaging platforms. Within weeks, the firm faced inquiries not only from its clients, but also scrutiny from government regulators. In a significant move, the company announced a partnership with law enforcement to investigate the breach and potential dark web transactions linked to the stolen data. Emergency changes to infrastructure included the implementation of enhanced multi-factor authentication and access logging tools designed to prevent future breaches. Meanwhile, public relations efforts aimed to reassure clients, but trust had already begun to erode. As the revelation publicly emerged, a combination of internal findings and whistleblower testimonies leaked to the press. Journalists uncovered a series of forums where the compromised data was being sold. The publication of these findings brought renewed scrutiny not just on the firm, but also on the larger corporate culture surrounding data stewardship within the technology industry. By late spring, consequences began to unfold rapidly. The combination of data breaches, regulatory fines, and a steep decline in client trust led to a significant loss of market share. In a bid to salvage their reputation, the technology firm announced a restructuring, resulting in the resignations of several senior executives, including the chief information officer. This move, however, was seen as insufficient to mitigate the reputational damage suffered by the organization. In July, the technology firm faced bankruptcy proceedings, unable to recover from the financial hits resulting from lawsuits and unprecedented drops in user engagement. Their brand, once a beacon of innovation, was now a cautionary tale of complacency in digital security practices. Legal consequences continued to loom over former employees, with the possibility of criminal charges pending due to their role in orchestrating the insider breach. As of October 2023, the firm, stripped of its former stature and significantly downsized, no longer exists under its original name, having been acquired by a larger firm seeking to capitalize on the remaining assets and rehabilitate what was left of its tarnished market presence. The fall from grace exemplified how critical the balance of trust, security, and corporate responsibility is within the tech industry, making it a stark reminder that even established giants can falter when transparency and due diligence are compromised.